Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, dear parents and students. We welcome you for this wonderful webinar regarding National Education Policy 2020. Before we start this webinar, I wanted to quote out this. Already you know, as in quoted by Mahatma Gandhi, education, according to him, education should bring out the creativity of the child. Based upon that quote, and another one, which is famously said by many leaders, change is the thing that cannot be changed. So every field, there will be a change. Gradually, it may start from beginning or it may happen in middle. So here, we are here to present you regarding the features of National Education Policy. Before I start this webinar, I request all the students as well as parents to mute their mics. If you have any queries, you can put it in the chat box, or after the session, you can ask these questions. So I humbly request all the students and parents to mute their mics. And if your network is stable, you can even put on your videos if you want. That's good. Now we'll go with this first one. Before we go to the vision, I wanted to say, generally the education policy in India, who has brought, when it is brought. So I could not make the slide now. I would like to say, I hope so that is visible now. In 1968, first education policy was brought by Indira Gandhi government. And the main motto of this, the main motto of education policy, which is brought in India in 1968 after independent India, it is equity, access and equity. This is the main motto of the education policy, which is brought in the year 1968 by Indira Gandhi government. So equity is for giving education to equally to all the people, regardless of gender, caste, region, religion. And another point, when you see the access to education, everybody should get education. That is the main motto of this education policy, which is brought in 1968. The second one is, which is brought in 1986, after 18 years, which is brought by Rajiv Gandhi government, education policy. That education policy, main aim of that education policy is right of children on free and compulsory education. Free and compulsory education to all. That is the main motto of the education policy, which is brought in the year 1986 by Rajiv Gandhi government. And now, and in between, actually, what happens? There is an amendment which took place in the year of 1992 and 2005, the recent one, which is right to education. There is a big announcement in the changes in education policy so far. 2005 is the last amendment which has taken place in India regarding right to education. Now, after the major change after 86, I could say that after 36 years, near about 2020, 34 years, which is brought now is the National Education Policy 2020. So regarding this policy, if you want to make any policy, of course, you have to set up a committee of members. Of course, in Indian Constitution also, we have seen the members, and the drafting committee also have set up, headed by Ambedkar, Dr. Ambedkar. The same way here, we have this education policy committee also. And it has started, it is not brought within a year. Of course, it took, you already know that after independence also, in order to bring the constitution to our country, it took 3 years to draft these policies for our country. So same way here, I would like to say, drafting committee. Drafting committee also. Sorry for the interruption. Drafting committee also here, I would like to say, which is education policy drafting committee. It was headed by Dr. K. Kasturi Ranjan. Dr. K. Kasturi Ranjan. Kasturi Ranjan. is the head of this drafting committee, who is the former chief ISRO member. In ISRO, he is the former chief, Mr. Kasturi Ranjan. So it has been brought into the consideration of all the districts, Gram Panchayat, near about 2.5 lakhs Gram Panchayat, 6,600 blocks, and near about 6,000 urban local bodies, and all the 676 districts. It has taken the survey and opinion from all the people of our country, because the changes is in the education. It is not in the particular field. You would say that it is the changes in education. If there is a changes in education, the changes in every field, I could say, because every home, every house, the children access to education. So now normally everybody will eagerly waiting for the changes, of course, and it has been taken opinion from all the people of our country, moreover all the districts and as well as blocks and Gram Panchayat. And it has started in the year, the opinion from website they have taken, and it is started from 26th of January 2015 until 31st of November, sorry, October, 31st of October 2015. They have taken the feedback from all the people, and then they have sum up with this drafting education policy committee. Okay, and this draft is, of course, we are getting now in English, and of course I told you many parents also, I will forward to you in Marathi too. It has been modified into 22 languages, and in audiobook also it is available. And especially the MPs of several states, the particular states, especially as you know, religion, language wise, in the language wise, the first state to separate, or first state to form in India is Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Puducherry, Karnataka, these are the states, especially the southern state, Odisha, they have taken the review from these MPs also. And special meetings were conducted by Central Board of Secondary Education, and in Parliament, it came to the law on 7th of November 2019. So these are the major background. I tell you how this policy has been brought into the view. Okay, now let's move to the vision of the policy, because any policy without vision is inappropriate, I could say, or it is incomplete. So the vision of the policy, when you go through this, actually, what is the vision? What is the motto of this policy? And the education system, which is bringing the changes in education system, that should equalize the global education system all over the world. That means all over the world, how the education systems were. Now, still we talk about the developed nation, and still in the progress of developing nation. Of course, maybe the parents, those who are attending the classes, when they studied at the time also, they might have heard India is in developing country. India is a developing nation. But still, even their children are studying, still they are also studying the developing nation only. It's not become a developed country. It is in the progress of developing, but why it is not being achieved? Of course, in students, they are studying in our school, class 10 students, especially they are studying in economics and geography and other cultures of this one. They are getting an idea of what is the process of index of the development of the country, economical growth. Of course, this is all possible, but changes in education may bring out the real development of the nation. So many developed nations, they have observed and they brought an idea that developed countries' education system was somewhat different than of our nation. So in order to equalize the education system of other country, what you have to do, there should be a change. That changes may be the main reason, the changes they expect, the main reason they brought this policy. So this policy is generally just highlighting the equality of high global world education system. And next one, the curriculum of this pedagogy is the methods must develop. The method of teaching also must develop, and there should be changes. And when you are changing that, the children should know the duties and the constitution of our country. Because living in our country, we are very proud. we show our only the patriotism during the time of 26th January and 15th August. It's not only the 2 days. We have to respect our duties and constitution of our country in everyday's lives. So the students should develop in their career, their education, through the education, they should feel like we are living in India, and the nationalism spirit should naturally develop in day-to-day life. So that idea, they wanted to bring it in this education policy. Third one is develop a sense of pride and respect for the country and be responsible for human rights, sustainable development, global well-being. So when we say that pride and respect for the country, that should be feel like nationalism should be brought in the country through education. It's not only through these festivals, it is not only through this important the days that we observe. It is in everyday life they should bring. So this is the main vision of this policy. Without delay, we'll go with this for the slides. Especially what they wanted to do. Focus from who we are focusing on. Socio-economically disadvantaged groups, that is SEDGs. SEDGs, that is, especially they wanted to give the importance to this disadvantage. Who are the disadvantaged groups? These people, you can see, particularly female and transgender individuals. They are giving an advantage of the education, because female education was one time was a myth earlier time. Now, of course, people started to send their children to education in the schools in order to get education. So gender identities, especially to the female children, female education, they wanted to give the focus. And next one is the socio-cultural identities, especially SC, STs, OBC, minority groups also should be get access to education. That is focus of this education policy. And geographical identities, that is from the students from the rural areas, students from villages, where they have to travel for a long time to come to school. So this all the ideas the government understood, because the reasons, these are the reasons for what dropouts. The children do not get access education because of these reasons. As it is a recent report, it is telling for class, when the students are crossing class 8, near about 92%, according to the recent survey, 92% of the students, they are crossing this class 8. When they come to class 10, it falls into 83%, not 83, sorry, 73%. It falls into 73%. 73% means from primary education till 8th standard, primary to 8th standard, 92% their access to education, they're completing their education. When they come back to class 9 and 10, they are falling into 73. And when they're crossing 11th and 12th, badly it is coming into 59% only. So these are the, where are the children? Where the 8th standard student, they could not access to 11th and class 11th and 12th, near about 0.5%. What is the reason? These are the reasons. So geographical identities, the government is identifying why the student is not coming from the rural area or small towns. So they wanted to focus on this education policy in order to develop, give access to education. Disabilities, including learning disabilities. Actually, disabilities in the sense, mostly we see that physical disabilities, could not see or walk or write. So that is not only the disability of the student. Disabilities mean for not only physical as well as learning disabilities. I think one of the films has been released out in American's film. Tare Zameen Par, I do not know exactly that is the name of the film, but in that film they are saying that the student could not access to pronounce, could not able to concentrate. That is the best example of this one. So why? He's having some learning disabilities from beginning. So how that child should be brought up, that is one of the focus on this education policy. And I could say that socio-economic conditions like migrants, trafficking victims, orphans, these are the children, especially, they also should get education. The people, these people, literally, you can see socio-economically conditions, they will drop out, they will leave the education, and they will just go to do the menial works. And you can say they will become transform into some other works, that is, become a child labors. So these are the focus of, especially these people should be focused in bring and access to education. That is the motto of this education policy. Next, within going that, this is one of the important slide. I would say that what has been existed earlier and now what is the real change. You can notice here and this column, I hope so, many of you might have seen this. Still, I want to explain this one. Previous academic structure, how it was existing one. 10+2, the children should be brought into the school. Actually, sir, we in many schools, private schools, they have this pre-primary KG1, KG2, but it was not compulsory at the time. It was not compulsory. In government school, you can see they will get admission in class 1. So pre-primary sections, like I could say that KG1, pre-primary, nursery, KG1, KG2. This 3 section was not compulsory earlier time. So student can, after 5 years old, they can go to any schools and they can get directly admission in class 1 also, even in the private schools. Age was the limit. Class 1 is the first class. So first to 10 and after 10 standard, 2 years, class 11, 10, 12. This was the structure, academic structure earlier. Now, what has been the major change which is brought in this education policy is first 5 years that you can see here, 5 years. This 5 years also divided into 3 parts. You can see in the slide easily. 3 years, that is Anganwadi, preschool. This is the age group between 3 to 6 years. That means what? Before first standard. That is what we are, many students, I think you also might have completed that nursery, KG1, KG2. But when you ask your parent, basically the parent, those who are observing or listening to this, and you may know that they may not complete it, or maybe their fathers, maybe the children's grandparents may not complete the nursery, KG1, KG2 at the time. Now, this education policy is making education, giving education compulsory to the pre-primary children too. That is age group between 3 to 6. So due to that, what is happening? What the changes they are bringing? One by one, we'll see quickly. And after this KG1, KG2, nursery, KG1, KG2, they are coming back to this 2 years, that is class 1 and 2. So this complete 5 years, they are categorized into one blocks that is called foundational blocks. So it comes in the foundational stage. The second one comes into the class 3, 4, 5, that 3 years, age group between 8 to 11. That is, we have this preparatory stage. And third one, which come into the classes 6, 7, 8, age group between 11 to 14, that comes into the middle stage. And the last one comes under this class 9, 10, 11, and 12 comes under the secondary stage. So each stages, what is it telling? Each stages, what do they say? We'll see that fundamental stage. First one is your foundational stage. The foundational stage is 5 years. In 5 years, what the children do is completely, the children, pre-primary children, what do they like? Play, game. Because now naturally the children like to go to the ground, go to this park instead of coming to school. And everybody might have experienced that the nursery children, they used to cry when they're coming to the school. So now, in order to wipe their tears, in order to change the situation, they are going to bring the play activity-based learning. Completely this 3 years, the foundational stage, especially the nursery KG1, KG2 is completely based upon play activity-based learning they are going to provide. And next comes under the class 1 and 2, when the student completed KG2. Now, this is play only when the 3 years. 3 years of nursery, KG1, KG2. When they complete KG2, when they come back to this class 1, the student is going to study play-based learning. What is this play-based learning? We'll see deeply. Actually, what is that? Play-based learning in the sense, everything. They wanted to study the numerics, the numbers, the shapes, the colors in the method of playing. So completely play-based learning, that is the main focus of foundational stage. Got it? Now, next come back with this second stage. That is actually, we can say the preparatory stage, the second one, classes 3 to 3, 4, 5, this 3 years. This is the preparatory stage. In preparatory stage, what the student is doing, it is somewhat little different. What is that? Students will play, discover, and activity based, means they started to discover something. What they started to discover, what they learned earlier stage in a play activity based learning, now they are going to discover something. What they are discovering. Every activity based, of course, activity based learnings are we are already done. Now the students should be given education in the mode of discovering something, identifying something. So that stage, preparatory stage, especially they are focusing on the discovery stage. And the middle stage, when it comes into the experiential learning. Experiential learning means, or do they get experience in this age between class 6 to 8? Of course, what experience do they get? Practically, they just today. What is the use of the student who is studying, maybe hate mathematics and they want to study this logarithm tables or the physics formula? How it is useful in day-to-day life? They are going to experiment and they are going to learn. I think one of the films actually you have seen special or Super 30. In that films, especially they have seen that every activity they are connecting to this classes, physics, how it is running. So that experiential learning they are going to provide. Sir, you are telling the name of the films. Why? That means after watching the films, they are brought. No, but actually this is the practical method in all of the developed nation. That is why the vision of this policy is just to equalize the global cities, and in order to make the global level education system in our country, equalize this global level education system of our country. Come back. Now the secondary stage when is coming here, greater critical thinking, multidisciplinary study, flexibility in choosing subjects. This is another important factor. Even last year, students of class 10, they many times they had a debate also in this topic. Sir, I like mathematics. I wanted to go to this IIT, or I love medical. I love medical field, so I want to study science only. What is the use of studying history? Now, I think you might be knowing that students, in the beginning only the vision of this policy, the student should compare this. What is the use of this mathematics in geography? So this connection they are going to make it. So here the flexibility in choosing subjects. Suppose I like particular subject. For example, I like English. I too like particular sports. Suppose I'm taking volleyball, and I too like singing or listening songs, or maybe playing some instrument, music I take. So may I take these subjects according to my opinion? Is it possible? So far, it was not possible. But from now, that means after the implementation of this policy, that is going to be possible. The students are going to select the subject of their own. It is not already, it is framed by the government that you should undergo all the subject. I too told you many times to the students, it is given, so we cannot omit it. Now, what would happen? The students are going to choose their subject according to their wish. Choosing subjects, flexibility in choosing subject. That is the main changes, major changes, which is going to be implemented in our country. And greater thinking and multidisciplinary study they will go into do. Multidisciplinary study in the greater critical thinking, in the sense critical thinking is one of the 21st century skills. The student should have all the major skills of 21st century. So in deeper, we'll see one after another. Next, we'll go to the next slide. Now, what is going to happen? Shift to complementary based teaching, learning, assessment. What is the major shift? Now here, as you show in the picture, easily you can see reducing curriculum to the core essential to minimize rote learning. Of course, rote learning is the major enemy for our education system so far. What happened? Student used to, when I teach, I to suggest the students, when they wanted to deliver something, what do? They will remember, they will learn everything by heart, and they will write on their, put on their papers. That student, those who are learning everything by heart and writing on the answer sheet, may not be the perfect one. I could say that may not be the cleverest one in the class. So far, we have seen the marks, based upon the students. Of course, what do? The rote learning. Now the rote learning is going to be reduced completely. So voiced upon the understanding, they are going to say. So what is for that? They are going to change even the examination systems too. No, so far, whatever the examination system we had, existing one is going to remove completely. Based upon their understanding, they are going to write their answers. So next is learning outcome based curriculum. Of course, learning outcome is the major part of every lesson, I could say. Whenever you learn something, whenever the teacher is going to teach anything, the teacher is not going to teach what the student is going to learn. This is what the major motto is going to be brought in this education system. There is a difference. What I am going to teach is this is no, this is what I'm going to teach. So far, we are explaining in this way. Now, from now onwards, what we are going to learn. That means what the students, sir, I wanted to learn this. Today, I'm going to learn this. So learning outcome based curriculum, they are set up. They are going to set up. They're going to change everything based upon learning outcome based curriculum. And that is going to bring the major change. Shifting traditional assessment to competency focused. Another changes. Also like pen paper test, formal assessment. This is completely is going to change in the competency focus. The students may be clever in one particular subject or particular field, that also could be focused or that could be supported. Traditional assessment will be changed into the competency. Next, promoting sport integrated and art integrated learning in classrooms. This is one of the another major changes which is going to be brought. What is it? Sports integrated. Sir, sports means we are going to give the sports period. Of course, the sports integrated means relevant to the sports activity. Now we are learning. I say many times when I even train the students in volleyball. At the time, I could say that the students used to say, I will ask them, it's okay, you have come for this playing volleyball. So what do you learn from this? What is the length and width of this court? What is the height of this net? What I am applying? The subject of mathematics, naturally. So mathematics I'm applying in sports. So every game is relevant to any of the subjects. So they are going to connect the both subjects and as well as the sports. So that is what sports integrated and art integrated through the art and drawing through the shapes. Suppose we are drawing some shapes, like for example, Warley paintings we are drawing. So it is relevant to the subject of mathematics. So mathematics, how they are implemented in art integrated. This is going to be in the classroom, every lesson, they are connecting this sports and art in every lessons. So that is one of the major changes going to be brought. And as you see in the picture, the number of books, the weight of the books, it's going to be reduced in a lot. And you can see the sports and music or art is given importance in the art and group, in the sense what, when you're learning, when you're just practicing games or art or sports, you're going to learn the subjects too. So that is the major change is going to be brought. Now, next one, what is talk about mother tongue? There is one of the special points here. Learning in mother tongue regional language up to class 5 and preferably till class 8. This is one of the major changes here, because students may have this problem, especially the rural area children. They have this problem of, okay, observing, of course, the special subject like history, maybe in science. They could not get the knowledge exactly. Why? The reason is language has become a barrier for them. So this barrier is going to be removed completely by what? Implementing them this mother tongue. So mother tongue influence is going to be brought in this education policy. So this is one of the major changes which is going to be bring. Next, students will be evaluated on cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. This is actually, what is this cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain? This is from the Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy. From this particular part, Bloom's taxonomy, Benjamin Bloom has given there the students having this category, the students taxonomy, education should be in that particular level. There are 6 stages he has evaluated. The 6 stages based upon this cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. So these students will be evaluated in all the effects. How understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. These are the ways they are going to make it, the development studies. So this is one of the another changes, and progress card is going to be brought in 360-degree of this method. So students, when the parents are going to come, they are not going to ask this, okay, what is my children's, which particular subject is very A only, C only, D only. This subject should be developed. They are not going to see the marks, but the students are going to be evaluated in 360-degree holistic report card. Means the student is good at, suppose, communication skill. That also going to be mentioned. The student is good at interactive skills. That is also going to be mentioned. The student is able to host the program. That is also going to be implemented. The student is able to play the particular sports in well manner. That is also going to be implemented. It is not only based upon your subject. here all other aspects of the students also going to be implemented in this holistic 360-degree holistic report card. Students could be evaluated in everything. So now the students evaluate, sir, that card will be given only we just to see that, okay, this is my student is, I know my student is good at chess. I know my student is good at basketball. No, it's not only that. The hidden skills of the students which is developed in the school also can be shown in this 360-degree report card. So due to that, what happens, the students themselves, they can see that where they wanted to develop. They can compare this, of course, with them, with their own idea, where actually I have this particular skill. I have the speaking communication skill. I am having good oratory skills. I'm having good debate skills. So these are the skills I wanted to develop. So the students can be identified their own skills too, and they bring up their own talent. So this is the one of the main focus on this education policy. Next comes that transforming assessment and tracking student progress across school years. Means what? It's here all now here the board examination, like we are having only till 10th standard, they do not have any exams. As I told you many times, means they have annual examination, but they do not have yearly exams. Now, what are they going to make? Now, every grade, especially grade 3, grade 5, grade 8, grade 10, and 12, they are going to have this board exams too. Sir, what they're going to evaluate? Of course, from grade 3, they are going to start. Means till grade 2, there is no examination. So board examination will continue for class 10 and 12 rooms, but existing system of board and the entrance examinations will be improved to eliminate the need for the coaching classes. So this is an important focus on this education system. It continue till 10th and 12th we have as it is, but even 8th, 5, class 3 also, they will be having common exams. Got it? So that is actually in order to improve the talents and the quality of the student. This is the major changes is going to be brought. Next comes key features. Key features of this pedagogy. What are the important? Competency-based learning. As I told you already, what is the meaning of competency? Models on preparing and implementing pedagogies plans based on competency and outcome-based education. The student should learn something, means what the lesson is taught to the students, and the student should what they learn from this lesson. That is going to be identified. So that is competency-based education is going to be brought to the students, to be given to the students. Okay, and especially for the school leaders like teachers, we are also going to be undergo this training with this, how the teaching methods, what are the teaching methods of 21st century, and how we are going to implement this competency-based educations. We are also taking a training that is going to be brought to the students too. Next is integration of subject, means connecting, as I told you. So we have seen this. Sports is how is going to be connected with mathematics. Arts is how is going to connect it with mathematics or other subjects. So through arts integrated and sports integrated or computer integrated system, now or the storytelling, we are going to connect all this particular subjects with mixed with one after another. That is the integration of subject. We are going to integrate, we are going to join, connect, because how it is useful. This history is useful here. How history is useful in day-to-day life. Where do you use? That part we are going to be brought in this education policy. Next one is development of scientific temper. As we are giving the development of scientific temper, important of knowledge and practice of human and constitutional values. What is the value of this in India? How we have to bring out this patriotism spirit in our country with education, through education. That is also going to be brought in this education system. Development of scientific temper. No silos is another one, means no hard separation between curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular. Everything's coming in under one roof. Earlier time we have this is co-curricular activities, this is extracurricular activities, all is going to no silos. Okay, no curricular, co-curricular, everything. The student is going to learn everything. Art also, drawing also, electrician, plumber, carpentry, everything they are going to learn. For that, of course, one of the slides I will show you, 10 days, they are going to, per year, 10 days, back freeze days they are going to announce. Oh, that 10 days without back, their students are going to come to school and they are going to learn something. What? Apart from this, subjects, that is what we call the co-curricular or extracurricular activities. So there is no academic and vocational or science or humanities. Earlier time, see, in the higher grades you will have this 3 streams only. What are the 3 streams, especially in the higher grade after 12th standard? One is science stream, another one is arts, another one is humanities. Among these three streams only, so far we have completed, we have studied. Now it is going to be all, when whatever you want, you can see. That is what they are already given, the open the door. So now here the sports and art and academics also they are going to manage. No silos. Emphasizing on digital literacy. Of course, now you are learning everything with the digital base. So that is also one of the focus. I think we have 1 minute. I could not complete this 40-minute sessions. So I request the students to join again, and I will complete the remaining slides and will complete the sessions too. Okay. So till the time I will continue. Please, I request you to join again and I will complete the slides. Now, emphasis on digital literacy. Of course, here we are getting the education with this new technologies only. So that is how you are going to improve this thinking or educational thinking or critical thinking or analyzing or evaluating. How we are going to use this through this digital learning. We are going to make this pedagogy. It means pedagogy is the method of learning. The student is going to get through this method of learning. Next is promotion of multilingual teaching. Another important one. For example, if I'm taking I know only English, maybe some Hindi, Marathi I do not